Hello and welcome to another educative episode on EduMedia YouTube channel. In this episode, we're going to explore the curriculum area of the essential professional skills under the Ghana Teacher Licensure examination. We're going to look at what is in this curriculum and what should we learn in anticipation of the exam. The Ghana Teacher Licensure examination is due in the coming month, and all we can do as candidates at the moment is to prepare and arm ourselves with the right content before the examination. Understand that just like any other exam, the licensure examination equally requires a significant amount of time, attention, resources, and revision in order to pass it. So, it will do you much good if you spend some time to review and pay attention to the materials you read. The areas of focus under the Ghana Teacher Licensure examination include the National Teachers Standards, also known as the Essential Professional Skills, the numeracy, that's the mathematics aspect of it, and then the literacy, that's the English aspect of it. In one of our previous videos, we explained the curriculum areas of the numeracy part of the examination. There's a link in the description section below for you to check it out. In this video, we'll explore the curriculum area of the essential skills. Now, before we look at the curriculum area of the essential professional skills, let's elaborate on some of the important aspects of the essential skills and how it came to exist. Why teachers standard, or why essential professional skills? Teachers play such a critical role in inspiring and challenging students to achieve their potential. Now, this therefore implies that preparation and subsequent development of the teacher requires the highest possible standards in knowledge, conduct, and practice. These standards are concise written statements of what teachers are expected to know and be able to do. Now, among these teacher standards include their ability to set out the minimum levels of practice that all trained teachers must reach by the end of their pre-service teacher education course in order to play such a critical role. These standards also inform teachers' development while in their first year as beginning teachers on their induction course in schools prior to licensing as professional teachers by the NTC. They also provide a framework for future professional and career development for all teachers. The standards should be seen as one common core set of standards that apply to all teachers at all levels. Hence, they ensure that the development of student teacher is guided by the same set of standards. Now, let's look at how these standards come to exist. How were they formed? What are the sources that were considered when these standards were brought into being? According to the team that developed the teacher standards, its development arose from the need to consolidate the different standards being used in institutions offering initial teacher training and those who provide continuing professional development. The standards were developed from a number of sources. Among them include assessment tools used by the University of Cape Coast and University of Education, Winneba, for assessing student teachers during on-campus teaching and practicum. Handbook for principal teacher aspirants by the Ghana Education Service. Manual for student teachers on school attachment. Handbook for mentorship and the student teacher competence matrix. Also, information was gotten from the survey of National Teacher Council in more than 8 countries, and also they involve practitioners across all sectors and other key stakeholders. We have the National Council for Tertiary Education, the National Accreditation Board, we have the Ghana Education Service themselves, we have the National Inspectorate Board, also the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment was also involved in the preparation of these standards. Now, with all this out of the way, let's look at the curriculum itself. The Essential Skills curriculum is divided into 3 main categories, with each category having its own subdivisions. So we have the professional values and attitudes, we have the professional knowledge, and then also we have the professional practice. Now we're going to look at the subdivisions under each of these categories. So we look at the professional values and attitudes. The subdivision under this, we have professional self-enhancement or development. Topics that can be considered under this include teaching practicum, reflective practice, continuous professional development and personal development, and other topics that relate to professional self-enhancement or professional development. Another subdivision under professional values and attitudes is ethics of professionalism. So you can look at books talking about code of ethics and principles guiding teachers, legal issues around teaching and the teaching profession in Ghana. Another subdivision here, we have the community practice. The topics we can look at under here, we have the school management and community practice. We also look at the role of a teacher in the community. So when you are preparing for the examination, these are some of the topics that you can look for or you can read about if you want to arm yourself with what the NTC is going to say. So we have professional development. Under here you can look for books that are talking about teaching practicum, reflective practice, continuous professional development, and so on and so forth. And for the ethics of professionalism, you can look for books that are talking about code of ethics and principles guiding the teaching profession in Ghana. You can also look at legal issues surrounding the teaching profession in Ghana. So there should be books that address these issues for you to be able to learn something from them. Also, we have the community practice. You can look at school management and then the role of teachers in the community. Now, the next topic we have is the professional knowledge. Subdivisions under the professional knowledge, we have knowledge of educational frameworks and curriculum. The topics under consideration here, you can look at policies guiding the educational system, you look at the official school curriculum. You also pay attention to the work of the Curriculum Research and Development Division, that's the CRDD. Then you also look at the work of the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment. You should also pay attention to pedagogical knowledge and pedagogical content knowledge. You look in the areas of how to teach reading and numeracy. These are all part of the knowledge of educational frameworks and curriculum. The next subdivision under this particular heading is knowledge of students. For knowledge of students, topics you should explore include human growth and development. So you can look at the physical, the cognitive, and the psychosocial development. You also look at approaches to learning, whether it's behavioral learning or social cognitive or cognitive information processing approach. You look at all these areas of learning. Then you also look at how children learn in diverse contexts, how to plan teaching and learning, taking into consideration the student's cultural, linguistic, socio-economic, and then educational background. These are the topics that you need to look for under this particular category. The third and the final category is the professional practice. The subdivisions here we have managing the learning environment. For managing the learning environment, you need to look at topics that are talking about lesson planning, managing learners' behavior, and then how to manage classroom. You also look at classroom presentation techniques. In some way, you can have the classroom presentation techniques also including the school, the classroom management. Another subdivision here is teaching and learning. For teaching and learning, you can look at topics such as instructional strategies and how they influence students' critical thinking. You also look at instructional strategies that encourage special educational needs. So you look at the special education aspect also. You also look at how to use technology to enhance teaching and learning. The last subdivision under this is the assessment. So for the assessment, the topics under consideration, we have assessment modes that support learning. We look at feedback in teaching and learning. How do you take feedback from the student? And how do you measure learning outcome from the student? We also read about how to use objective criterion referencing and how to use it to assess learners. Finally, let's look at the summary of all that we've done. And these are all the topics that you need to read about. You need to read about these areas. So you have the teaching practicum, reflective practice, continuous professional development, teacher schools of ethics and principles, legal issues relating to teachers, school management, role of teacher in the community, educational policies, school curriculum, CRDD and NSA, human growth and development, approaches to learning, learning in diverse contexts, socio-economic and educational background. So look at lesson planning, learners' behavior, classroom management, instructional strategies. You look at special educational needs. You look at ICT in teaching and learning, assessment modes, feedback, measuring outcomes, and objective criteria reference and how to use it to assess students. These three categories and aspects cover what teachers should value, know, and do, and intersect with one another to develop a teacher competent enough to teach at the end of their initial teacher training. The synthesis of these three categories represent a teacher with a greater competence. So, this is it. I've given you the whole map. You can now embark on your exam preparation journey. You can explore and research on some of the topics mentioned. Hopefully, in the next coming days, we'll look at past questions and sample questions that are likely to surface. Some of our videos will be live streamed as per demand from most of our subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'll absolutely encourage you to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to be alerted anytime we go live. We have a WhatsApp channel where we discuss questions and answers. If you want to interact with us on a daily basis, you can click on the link in the description section below. Your comments are very valuable to us, so please leave a comment. Tell us, how do you feel about our videos and what do you want to see us upload? Thank you and see you in our next video.